I'm about to make a big real estate mistake. We just sold our home in downtown Healdsburg and are moving to live on half an acre in rural Healdsburg overlooking a vineyard. If you're weighing up the options of living in downtown Healdsburg versus rural Healdsburg, I'll share with you my biggest fears and concerns. My biggest fear is just not being able to walk to bars and restaurants in the evening. I mean, it's a big part of our lifestyle. We used to have a house a 25-minute drive from Healdsburg out in the country, and it was lovely, but we realized it was just too far away from Healdsburg. So we actually bought a place in downtown Healdsburg and moved there during COVID. And we absolutely love being in downtown, but wanted to try moving somewhere we could get a taste of rural living, but is just a 5-minute drive to downtown Healdsburg. Not being able to walk to bars and restaurants in 10 minutes, well, it will be a big change for us, but hopefully, because we're only literally 1.5 miles away, hopefully we won't miss it too much. One solution might be for us to get a couple of electric bikes, but we'll wait and see. And the other thing that we'll miss is just no more bumping into people. One part of downtown life, which I really enjoy, is bumping into people when we walk into town or just walking around town. There's something really nice about living in a community where you see friends just hanging out on their porch as you walk into town. It just gives you a really great sense of community. Another fear is that when we move, you don't have neighbours in the same way because you're just much more reliant on a car. What's more, everyone has gates, so you get in the car, drive out to the drive, and head out without actually seeing your neighbours. And it was really nice where we used to live in downtown because we became really good friends with our neighbours. With that being said, I'm excited to meet our new rural neighbours and hopefully we will make some great friends. Talking to other friends who live out in rural Healdsburg, it does seem there is the same sense of community with people, swapping produce they grow and exchanging chicken eggs. So I'm hoping we experience the same. I might just need to sort of improve my skills as a grower and as a gardener. So the other big change is having no city services and no Healdsburg electric. In the city, life is super simple. You've got city sewer, you've got city water, and Healdsburg electric rather than PG&E. In our new place, we'll have to deal with a well for our water, a grey water system to supplement irrigation for the garden, a septic system rather than the sewer, and most likely PG&E power outages. In the city, our solar system delivered us net positive electricity, so we never had to worry about electricity bills. Even for those people who don't have solar, electricity in the city limits is nearly 50% cheaper than PG&E, so electric bills are just way cheaper. The good news is that our new place has full solar and backup batteries, which should keep the lights on and the water running from the well, even when there is a power outage, but we'll have to wait and see. The house also runs on an electric heat pump, which will become mandatory in California once gas is phased out in 2030. So it will be interesting to experience electric heating for the first time. I know the previous owner had an electric bill of over $2,000 a year, so I'm not quite sure how much electricity it really generates, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Another big fear of people living in rural Healdsburg is the internet. In the city limits, we've used Comcast, although it was quite funny. Our offer got accepted the day I got a notification from Sonic that we would now be able to get access to the newly installed Sonic fiber network, which would have been amazing. I'm not sure I need 10 gigabits per second, but it's nice to have the option. And equally nice to move to a local company rather than using Comcast. When we move, we'll be out on our own, away from Comcast, away from Sonic, so only have the option of satellite internet. Up until very recently, that's meant relying on companies like Viasat, Alexander Valley ISP for what is very expensive and pretty slow internet. However, Elon Musk Starlink is now by far the best option for anyone who lives in rural Healdsburg. I've purchased my dish and managed to set it up, so I do have an unobstructed view of the sky, which is what you need for Starlink to work. My initial test, I found that I've got over 170 megabits per second, which is a little bit slower than Comcast, but I'm hopeful it will do the job. My other fear is all the rural smells and noises. And I know that sounds stupid, but this is where we're definitely going into the unknown. We were very lucky where we live in downtown because our yard is really private and we've never had any trouble with noisy neighbours or anything like that. In fact, we were probably the noisy neighbours, given we do like to have friends over for dinner well into the evening. When we moved to our new place, there's chickens and roosters over the road as well as horses, so hopefully the roosters don't get up too early, although I'm not sure that's a thing. We also look out over someone else's vineyard, which is amazing, as it's so pretty, and yet we don't have to have the hassle of actually looking after it. However, farming and managing a vineyard, it is noisy and it is dusty at certain times of the year. By the time we move in, all the grapes will have been harvested, so we'll have to wait until next year to find out if they pick by machine or pick by hand, or they pick in the middle of the night or early morning. But I do know that farming a vineyard is noisy and it is disruptive. Hopefully we'll get to meet the owner and get to taste a bit of the wine. That would be really nice. And the other thing that hopefully we won't miss is the sense of local community. If you've watched some of my other videos, you'll have heard me talk about what an amazing sense of community Healdsburg has. The good thing is that we know lots of people in town, and so are less reliant on meeting new people for the first time as part of building our own personal community. I would say to anyone who is looking to move to Healdsburg, it's definitely easier to meet people if you live in downtown, for the reasons that I've explained. However, even if you live out of town in more rural Healdsburg, it's so easy to come into the downtown and go to the farmer's market or go to the music on the square on a Tuesday. It probably just takes, a little bit more effort. Sometimes it's easy just to not go out. So have I done the right thing? The honest answer is, I really don't know. By the time this video goes on YouTube, I'll have moved, so I'll be finding out if it was a good decision or not. We'll be really sad to leave downtown, but equally excited about moving to a more rural Healdsburg location. If I've got no internet, no water, I'm woken by roosters every morning, I might just reconsider. We're very lucky to get the opportunity to try the best of both worlds. I'll post another video in a month or so to give my verdict on rural versus city living. I get calls from people all the time looking to buy a property in Healdsburg and are weighing up sort of rural versus downtown living. So please do reach out if you are looking at buying in Healdsburg or in Sonoma County. My number's in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll love the next video on screen right now. Until the next video, go well.